Hey, welcome back to the channel, Aaron with Smoky Tire Barbecue. Today we're going to show you how to make a reverse seared tri-tip using the M80 using AnonymousQ disruption rubs. Let's light them up. Hey, first things first, we started out with a roughly 2 pound tri-tip. If you notice, you're going to be able to see a lot of a good fat cap on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim it down until you want to leave a little bit of fat, but if you kind of mark it up like I do, it's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. We're going to cook this tri-tip in a reverse sear, in a reverse flow using the M80. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sear it off at the very end. So we're going to kind of treat this like a steak. So it's going to be really good. First things first, what we're going to do is we're going to coat the tri-tip with your favorite Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire sauce, or however you want to say it. Some people use L&P. Today we're going to use Melissa Cookston's Woo Woo sauce because that's what just we had in the refrigerator at the time. So we're going to coat each side and all sides with it. If you notice on the actual tri-tip itself, you'll notice the grain structure. On that grain structure, it runs one way and then it flips again in the middle. It goes the opposite direction. So kind of keep that in mind whenever you're getting a tri-tip and you're cooking it. If you've never cooked one before, you want to slice against the grain. So make sure that you find out which side the grains are. If you want to, take a picture. If not, you should be able to see it at the very end when we're cooking. You should be able to see where it's at. Then what we're going to do is after we got it all coated up with the Worcestershire sauce, we're going to put on some AnonymousQ spicy all-purpose rub. We're just going to do a light coating on that. Then we're going to follow up with the brisket and more from Disruption. This rub has a kind of a coffee flavor going on. It's kind of in your face just by itself, but when you're cooking with it, it does mellow it out and it gives you a little bit of a savory note. This is also a meat tenderizer as well, so this is why another reason we're going to put it on. After that, we're going to hit it with an Epic AP rub. Now the Epic AP rub has some umami flavors going on with some mushrooms. It also has a little bit of coarser salt flake, so we're going to put that at the very end and kind of get that one going. And then what we're gonna do is, oh crap, I forgot. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add some barbecue rub on top of that, just to kind of give it that pop of color and kind of give you that little bit of barbecue flavor. It's not overpowering, just kind of adds a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of smokiness to the overall tri-tip. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to make sure you get all the sides of it. And then we're going to put it in a paper towel. We're going to wrap it in a paper towel, and then we're going to put it in a gallon Ziploc bag. And one of the reasons why we do that is because it soaks up a lot of that juice that's coming out, and it makes that rub stick a little bit better. We use this out on the competition trail for our steak, so why not use it on a tri-tip? All right, now that the tri-tip's been kind of resting for about an hour or so, we're going to get our grill up to temp. So today we're just going to be using some B&B charcoal, just some competition briquettes that we have here. So we're going to kind of load up the chimney. We're gonna put some fire starters underneath it. We're gonna light it up, and then we're gonna do, once we get it up to temp, we're gonna dump it, and then we're going to create a offset style cook. Today's video is proudly sponsored by Griffin's Puppies, a small family-run business in North Carolina that's been bringing joy to homes since 2009. At Griffin's Puppies, they take their responsibility seriously, working closely with their trusted veterinarian to make sure every puppy is healthy, happy, and ready to become a beloved member of your family. Whether you're dreaming of a playful corgi or a sweet cavapoo or an affectionate Aussie Doodle, Griffin's Puppies is here to help you find your perfect companion. Griffin's Puppies, where love begins with 4 little paws. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so now that the charcoal is ashed over, we're now going to dump it. Make sure to set this to the side so you don't burn anything. Now that we dumped our charcoal, what we're going to do is we're going to make an offset today. So we're going to kind of arrange these B&B charcoals kind of to the side here. And I'm getting ready to lay my grates down on the other side. And then I'm going to put a probe in to kind of see where we're at. We want this to be about 275, no more than 300 when we're going to do this reverse sear. Then what we're going to do once we get the internal temp of about 120, we're going to take off the tri-tip, and then we're going to wrap it for a little bit and kind of rest it, slide the grates over, heat them back up to about 550 degrees, about 600, and then we're gonna sear them off like we would our steaks. Okay, so now we got our grill grates on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this ThermalWorks kind of probe on here and kind of see where we're sitting at temp-wise. Just gonna set it right there. Like I said, we want this grill to be right at about 300 degrees, so I'm gonna close it down and we'll adjust these vents accordingly and kind of get it set up. Right now I have them set up roughly about halfway open on the top. On the bottom, I got them about a quarter way open. So we'll kind of see how that goes and kind of play around with it for a few minutes, let it come up to temp, kind of play around, see where we're sitting at, and kind of adjust it again accordingly. So what we're doing now, we're gonna throw on a piece of cherry wood. So we had to close off all the vents on this side. We opened the ones on the other side just ever so slightly. We're gonna create a reverse flow offset. So we're gonna have this little piece of cherry wood here to kind of give you that little bit of smoke flavor. I'm gonna throw it on there now, kind of start letting it smolder. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half since we've seasoned up this tri-tip and wrapped it in paper towel and then put it in a bag. We flipped it about every, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, and just kind of rubbed it, pressed it in, rubbed it. So what we're doing is we're soaking up some of that juice and letting that seasoning kind of marinate into the steak. So now it's time to open it up. Got some airplanes flying today. I don't know if you can hear it or not. So we're gonna open this thing up. All right, now I've got the tri-tip opening up here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our probe and we're gonna insert it in. Trying to move kind of parallel. We kind of want it in the center of the actual tri-tip itself. So we're gonna kind of go parallel into the side, trying to get to the middle. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook it up to our smoke over here. And again, we have it set to about 120 degrees. Right now we're sitting at about 61 degrees. So we're gonna open this up. We got our cherry wood kind of smoking on here. So we're gonna remove the ambient temp probe because we know it's sitting at about 300 degrees. Then we're gonna take some Chicago Wagyu beef tallow, South Chicago packing. What we're gonna spray our grates down. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay our tri-tip onto the grates. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure we get the portion of it kind of closest to the fire, that's the fattiest and the meatiest. And what we're gonna do is kind of try to bunch it up. Now what we are probably gonna end up having to do is we're gonna have to more than likely flip this and rotate this every so often. We're gonna have to rotate it and to kind of get it to where it'll cook a little bit evenly. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna close the lid down and we're gonna let it rest or let it come up to temp and rotate it probably about 15 minutes or so. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes now. We're sitting at roughly about 80-ish degrees on the tri-tip, so don't go too far away whenever you're cooking a tri-tip, especially on the M80, because you are so close to the fire and we're cooking at a higher temp. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna kind of rotate it. Again, we're trying to make this cook a little bit even and we're hitting that target temp of about 120 degrees. So now I'm just gonna kind of rotate it, just like that. And close it back down, hopefully. Nope. Push it back in just a little bit on that probe. Yeah, there it goes. And now we're gonna let it sit and let it go for about another 10 minutes or so. Okay, now our alarm is going off now. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna silence this. We're gonna open it up. Reached an internal temp of about 120 degrees. So I'm gonna remove this probe here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my aluminum foil that I have over here. And I'm gonna place the tri-tip directly on the foil. And all we're gonna do is just kind of let it sit here and kind of rest up for a little bit. Well, I'm gonna get the grill back up to temp. Just like that. I'm gonna get the grill, slide the grates over, clean the grates, slide them over, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the grill back up to temp for a sear, and we're gonna put some really nice, good looking lines on this tri-tip. Okay, so now we got our grill grates up to about 550, 575. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this Wagyu beef tallow and I'm gonna spray it on the tri-tip at the top. And I'm gonna open it up. And we're gonna spray the grates Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay the tri-tip on top. Just like this. And we're gonna press down. And what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna put a weight on it, just like that. We're gonna close the lid down and we're gonna let it go for about a minute and a half. So I'm gonna set my timer over here and gonna go from there. All right, so it's been about a minute and a half. I'm gonna take this off here, remove the weight. We're gonna take our flipper here and we're just gonna rotate this just like this. Set it right back down, press down all the way around, make sure you're getting good contact. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our weight, put it right back on top, and we're gonna close it down and let it go for about another minute and a half. All right, so it's been about another minute and a half, so we're gonna take off the weight. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it over, take a look at it, and see how we did. We're gonna flip it back over and we're gonna do the other side, so we're gonna reverse it. So let's take a look. Oh yeah, look at those grill marks. Looks fantastic. All right, so on the reverse side, what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray it down with our fat on the grates as well. We're gonna put it right back down, but this time we're gonna go for about a minute and 15 seconds to a minute. So, I'm gonna put the weight on, just like that. And close the lid, set our timer, and let it go. All right, timer's going off. And we're gonna flip it at 90 degrees, just like that. Put it back on for about another minute, I believe. And we'll take it off and we're gonna let it rest. All right, so after about a minute, we're gonna take this off here and we're gonna put it in our aluminum foil and let it rest. What we're gonna do is just gonna kind of wrap this up here a little bit, kind of tint it loosely, let it rest for about 10 minutes. So let's set a timer. All right, so it's been 10 minutes. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna cut into it. So remember, when we're cutting into a tri-tip, you can see how the grains move this way. So you're going to cut against the grain, and then about right in the middle, it's where it changes over. Then the grain structure moves this way. So we're going to cut it right here in the middle. Hoping for about a medium rare is what we're looking for. It's a little over, but it's okay. It's about a medium. Looks really good. Oh yeah, looks great. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut, again, we're gonna cut against the grain, so we're gonna go this way with it. The good thing about a tri-tip, this is probably gonna be a little bit more well done versus out here on the back side. This one's probably gonna be a little bit more of a medium rare, which on this back side, it's roughly about a medium, so it's actually looking really good. So we're gonna cut off a few slices here. Kind of show you here, look at the grain structure here. Yeah, it looks good. So the tri-tip, if you remember, is going to be part of the sirloin family. So it's on that back side of the cow. So it's going to be looking more or less like cook it like a sirloin. All right, let's take a bite. Tastes just like a really good juicy steak. It's tender, it's moist. You have a little bit of that coffee flavor on the back end. It's not overpowering, Has really good flavor, kind of like a barbecue flavor too, using that barbecue rub. A little bit of salt. All in all, just a great tasting tri-tip. So let's back up and review. So what we did is we seasoned this up with this tri-tip with AnonymousQ barbecue rubs using the spicy all-purpose, the brisket and more barbecue rub, and then the Epic AP rub, all new from AnonymousQ. What we did is we seasoned it up, let it sit on the counter for about an hour and a half, wrapped up in a paper towel, and then put into a plastic Ziploc bag. We got our M80 grill up to about 300 degrees using B&B charcoal. We did a reverse flow offset, and then we put our tri-tip on it for probably about 30 minutes or so, and got it up to 120 degrees, took it off, let it rest, then brought our M80 back up to a searing temp for about 575, and then we seared it for roughly about 5 minutes total time, about 3 minutes on each side. So man, talk about a great flavor, just a great overall steak. Or excuse me, great overall tri-tip, cooked like a steak. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. Also, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the major social media outlets. And again, please be good and be safe.